Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, Am I Wrong for Ultimately Wanting a Divorce, even after my wife showed much more effort into our relationship? And guys, this story is about a guy who on New Year's Eve found out that his wife and mother of 2 kids is having an affair. And he's done, right? And initially upon finding this out, done, we're getting divorced. No forgiveness, none of that. But his wife is trying everything she can to change his mind, love bomb him, all that type of thing. Nope, this guy isn't having it. And you're going to see that this guy, he's really hurting here. He's a father, he has kids. He never thought she would do this. Upon looking back, there was nothing that gave him any clues that things were going on. And you're going to see how this whole thing plays out, where eventually he's done, and to the point that she is so desperate, she's like offering him to give him to service him down south every single day for the rest of their marriage, that type of thing. Nope. That'll be a pretty good one to go over here, guys. And this is actually part 1 of 2, and I'll do the part 2 a couple hours later, and you'll see how this thing plays out. Pretty entertaining. But the point is, once a cheater, always a cheater. There's always way more going on than they're letting you out. And even usually when they're caught, you get the trickle truth. And even then, you're never going to get the whole story here. It's best to just talk to a lawyer, part ways. Because you take back a cheater, they're just going to keep doing it. And in fact, they'll be worse and worse as time goes on, because they see weakness in you taking them back. So you're going to see how this whole thing plays out. He says, for context, coming into the new year, I had no idea that my wife had been having an emotional affair with a coworker. On New Year's Eve, before I found out about this, she came home and acted extremely cold towards me and the kids. She was angry. I'd be like, lose the attitude, sweetheart. Otherwise, I'll give you something to be pissed off about. Early on that evening, she asked if she can go out and have one drink with a female coworker, whom I knew and trusted. I told her that was cool, but the kids were staying up for the ball drop, so as long as she could be back to celebrate with them, I was fine with that. No. I'd be like, we're spending New Year's Eve as a family here, as we've done before. Pretty soon the kids are going to be off at their friends' houses for New Year's and everything. You can have that one drink any other time during the year. But okay. Well, she ended up getting off work at 11:30 and barely had enough time to get home. So much for one drink, huh? After the ball dropped, she cried and cried. I asked her what was wrong, and she said she got invited to her friend's house to have drinks with them. All 3 of them women, all married. I had no issue. I said, look, I'm not sure what's wrong, and while you're crying about this, that's fine. You deserve a girls' night out every once in a while. I don't mind watching the kids just go. So she changed the plan. So, no. We all know darn well about the girls' night, what comes from all that. So I put the kids to bed. She left, and then about 3 hours later, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I tried to contact her. No answer. I waited for about 15 minutes, call her again, no answer. Talk about disrespect. New Year's Eve, newsflash, a lot of people are out there going to parties and bars and clubs and drinking. A lot of accidents, a lot of drunk driving on New Year's Eve. And this guy isn't probably imagining the worst. He's probably calling the cops in the hospital, in the emergency room next. Total disrespect. But in her mind, hey, this guy's never going anywhere. I call her friend, who she's supposed to be with, no answer. She then texts me back 5 minutes later saying, yeah, I'm still coming home tonight. We're still drinking. Not cool. This is not what he agreed to. Never in our 6 years of marriage I felt a gut feeling that something else was going on. By that night, it all hit me. I went through our phone records and found another number I was unfamiliar with that she had been in contact with all night. So much for going to have a drink with the girlfriends who are all married. Yeah, they're all married and no doubt cheating. Ignoring my calls, texting that number in between, etc. She had been texting this number for a 3-month period daily. I never suspected that she'd be texting another dude while right beside me watching family movies together. All times had shown. How I didn't see this, I have no idea. Maybe she had this individual listed as mom in her phone, I don't know. I've never gotten this vibe or feeling our entire marriage. I was blindsided by it. So many guys are like this. And honestly, it's not because they're stupid. It's just that they just, well, maybe you could say they're kind of stupid, but they just never would think that their wives would do this. Because, they had this picture of her in their heads, and she seemed to act normal. But then when these things happen, they come to the surface. These guys look back and are like, okay, that was suspicious. Holy crap, how did I not see it? Anyway, I confront her about it through text with the proof like an idiot, and she speeds home, deletes everything on her phone, no way getting backups restored, no way ever knowing she did not meet up with this guy. Yeah, he should never have done that by text. She's now covering all her tracks. She's going to gaslight him. Upon finding this out, I immediately told her I want a divorce. Good for you, dude. He is There's no reconciling from any of this. It was at this point that she began getting violent with me. Violent with you? Talking shit about everything I've been doing to keep us financially stable. The 18-hour workdays that kept a roof over our heads. She told me that I needed to leave even though I pay rent and both our kids are asleep. So she's talking crap about him, and he's the one keeping the roof above their heads, getting mad at him for working 18-hour days, which is crazy, but a father's got to do what a father's got to do to take care of his family. And he's the bad guy. All the time you hear these stories of these wives and girlfriends cheat on their guys because you're never there, you're always working. Who do you think is paying the bills? You want to be a stay-at-home mom. You're cheating on me because I'm never there. Someone's got to pay the bills. You know, the bill-paying fairy isn't going to do it. I refused. We slept in separate rooms that night, and the next day she tried to act like nothing had happened. Claiming that she remembered that we'd fought, but couldn't remember what it was about. Well, let me refresh your memory, Sugar Muffin. Here are the phone records. Here's that number. Here's all the other things. Something's going on. Yeah, we're not doing this. So I share her phone records, even though I'm positive she's just trying to pull some crap. She is. She confesses who the individual was and says they flirted a lot, but never met up. Flirted a lot? I got 3 months of phone records here showing you're calling this dude and talking to this dude multiple times a day. And last night, and when we're on the home watching a movie together with the kids, no. This isn't, and even if you were just flirting, doesn't matter. We're done. That's cheating. I told her that was true. She'd have no issues restoring the text messages that she deleted, at which point it was confirmed that she deleted everything and deleted her last backup. She also saved a backup after they were deleted the night everything went to shit. Since then, she's tried hard to convince me that they never did anything and never saw each other aside from work. Even if that was true, which is bullshit, I don't care. You're not the woman I thought I married. I keep finding bits and pieces of things that don't make any sense. Well, she's also trickle-truthing you. Chunks of text deleted from her friends' messages around that time. Pictures on her Google Drive from that night, where she was with who she said she was with. Deleted from her phone for what reason? The most damning evidence I have is a 2-hour period on New Year's Eve. They stopped texting each other and then randomly started texting again around 3 o'clock in the morning when I started calling it and got that feeling. Because that big blackout period was when she was obviously with that dude. And Lord knows how many other times she's been hooking up with this guy. And I love how she's like, nothing else happened, we were just texting. Sure. My gut tells me that she left her friend's place, went to his place, and went back. Or she went straight to his place from our place, then went to her friend's when she found out that I was calling them. Regardless, she's still cheating. There were also revealing pictures of herself that she never sent to me, also on her Google Drive taken on Snapchat. Revealing pictures that you've never seen before, imagine that. And why is a wife and mother of kids on Snapchat? Okay, really, is that necessary? No, of course not. Is that necessary for a job? I'm sure very much not so. What do you think she's doing with that? She's since given me all her attention. She initiates intimacy tenfold. They stop texting, and she shows me everything on her Snapchat and even downloads her data to show me that she's not hitting on other people. So she's love bombing him and all these other things. Nope. She's doing this to just get back in his good graces, and then hopefully she can, win him back over and then go back to business as usual with her affair partner. That's what's going on here. I'm seeing the side of her I haven't seen since we were married all those years ago. But I can't help but trust my gut in demanding a divorce. I feel like she's keeping things from me, as well as kept things from me. Not knowing for sure is killing me inside. My parents know all this and keep pressuring me to work it out and not dwell. My brothers are saying, F that and get a divorce. Am I wrong in getting a divorce? No, not at all, because at the end of the day, sir, this is your life. And the interesting thing is he keeps saying, my gut is telling me something seriously wrong. There's more here. Well, she's been trickle-truthing you, and she's been love-bombing you, and all that. And of course, and you found the pictures and all those other things. What do you think is going on here? And if you stay married to her, I guarantee you, not only will this continue, but will get worse, because then he'll get even more disrespect, because women don't respect weak men. And if he just allows this crap to go on, That's what's going to happen. Okay, it's just how they operate, and it's just an absolute disgrace. And no mother, no wife, let alone a mother, should be behaving like a single woman. And that's how she's been behaving. The girls' nights and this, going out on New Year's Eve at 11:30 at night. Stay home with the kids. Those kids are going to be grown up pretty soon. You're not going to have those magical, fun moments with the family. You know, sit around the TV, watch the ball drop, play Candyland or something like that, and, you know. But this is what we have nowadays. These wives and moms still think they're 22. He also says, keep in mind the dates. I've known for over 4 months since this occurred. I'm positive she cut the individual completely out of her life, but I still can't get over the not 100% knowing, and my gut tells me she's even still lying. He says, also, if some of this is confusing, I will clarify. I will also give context where needed. He says, also, I'm sorry for the way this is written. I'm aware there's some jumping back and forth here. I'm just scatterbrained right now. It's honestly getting to me now that since the night I found out. It just keeps building up. I feel stupid. Bro, your life's a mess right now. It's okay. Also, I forgot to add that this individual in question is an employee she manages, as in she is his direct supervisor. I've heard there are greater legal consequences for this, but I have no idea. That is a cliche. She's hooking up with her employee or her subordinate. For clarification, the individual in question is actually morbidly obese. I'm by no means fit, but I'm not fat either. She's hooking up with a dude that's morbidly obese. I mean, okay, there are some people out there that there are guys out there like big girls, and I say big, I'm toning it down. And there's also gals that like big papas. You know, who knows what the deal? Maybe that in her family, that was her dad and her uncle and brothers. They're all big dudes, and or she can have this power over him. He says, I went back and looked at the timestamps for the pictures that were deleted of her and her friends that night. Before that 2-hour period of no texting, and during and after, there were several pictures taken with verified timestamps on them, as in they cannot be changed on Google Drive. Whether or not she has a friend that's tech savvy and was able to do that within the 10 minutes it took her to get home, upon confronting her, I do not know. Is that possible? Who knows? It's also worth adding, I come from a family that has thoroughly convinced one of my cousins that she needs to stay in her marriage even when her husband's been solely reliant on her. Got addicted to coke. Is this addicted to coke and physically? Still addicted to coke and physically abusing her? All because, by golly, no one in the family has ever gotten a divorce. So essentially, doing so, I would get disowned by my parents, my sister, and all my cousins, all my aunts and uncles, but with still the support of my 2 brothers. Okay, gee, let's see here. Your family is that extreme that if you get a divorce for very good reasons, your parents aren't going to talk to you, your aunts and uncles aren't going to talk to you, your cousins aren't going to talk to you. Well, guess what? Nice knowing you, assholes. You're not going to support me and go through this blindly. We will not get divorced no matter what. Fuck you. Sounds to me like they want to run this guy's life. Sounds to me that they have these ironclad rules that just simply don't work in situations like this. Sounds to me they're probably all miserable themselves. Misery loves company. No, the hell with you. Guys, if you're suffering and people don't have your back and trying to fix it or help you, they're not worth having in your life, even if it's family. I know some people say, I can't do that, SSM. Then suffer. Of course, you try other means before you come to that point. At least he has his brothers having his back. Update number 1. He says, currently on morning break at work. I'm reading through the comments. I'm off tomorrow all day, so I'll be heavily weighing in my options, and we'll get some time to myself tomorrow. Maybe not update tomorrow, but I'll update y'all when I can. Thank you for the input and positive and negative feedback. The best thing I can do right now is just get through the work week, get my kids from daycare, and be mentally present for them. I've been ignoring her since last night, and she's been snapping and calling me this morning to see what's wrong. So that's the end of part 1, and I'll be moving on to part 2 shortly. But real quick, this shit's going on. This guy needs to talk to a lawyer, find out all his options, good, bad, or ugly, and move forward. And if his parents and aunt and uncles and cousins don't like this, tough shit. It's not their life. They're not in his shoes. And at the end of the day, probably it's just misery loves company. They're all miserable and married, so they want everybody else to be that way. And who knows what else is going on. But she is just proving one step after the other that she is just a very deceitful person. She's a cheater. She's a liar, a manipulator. This is not wife material. This is not wife and mother material. Again, one of these jackasses that have children, but still thinks she's 23. It's ridiculous. So I think he needs to end it with her, find out his options. And if he takes a hit in the divorce, which he likely will, okay, he'll move on. Guys have gotten through much, much worse and lived to tell the tale. Now a few comments where I wrap this up. One guy says here, she's love bombing you. She hasn't stopped with this guy, but love bombing you will make you think she still thinks about you. It's slowly winding down to what it was before when she thinks that it has come back to you being clueless. She met up with the guy, you know she did. Hell, there's enough here to make anyone believe that she might have met up with him. What do you think she's crying about? She wanted to be with him for New Year's Eve. Take it from there. You don't know everything. You most likely never will. She'll just keep hiding it from you better. Yeah, she's love bombing him to get back in his good graces. She's just putting on hold with this guy, or at least pretending to do that. And he takes her back. He'll be back to what it was before. No, you can't be with her. Another one. You might as well get divorced because she's clearly hiding crap and lying to you as well as gaslighting you. You should have texted his number and said, hey, when you're done banging my wife, could you send her home, please? She has kids. I'd personally kick her out and tell her she has to go to the place, to his place, because her children don't need the S word of a mother. That's what women cheaters are. Another one. Why does she still have a Snapchat? And why trust when she clearly lied through her teeth? And just leave. It still happens. She's just a lot smarter now. Should have said shit and should have taken her phone when she was finished effing and came home on New Year's. Yeah, you never should have texted her at all. Tell her you want a divorce. You know there's more to it, and you're leaving if she's not completely clean about it. Record, same with your phone. So you're willing to work through it, but know she was sleeping with this person and still likely is. So be honest, please. Sometimes they're dumb enough to tell the truth. Sometimes not. Handy to have proof, though. But leave regardless, man. Respect yourself more than that. Listen to your brothers. Yep. And so, guys, I'm going to jump in with part 2 in a couple hours where you're going to see how this guy handles things like a boss. And let me tell you, she really gets desperate in her attempts to get this guy to forgive her and continue the marriage. But nope, our guys are having it here. So definitely stay tuned. You'll see how this thing plays out.